Okay, what's going on, everyone? Swinging Bull here. Welcome to my earnings stream that I do every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And hopefully everyone can hear me in the Discord. The two stocks that are reporting earnings today is Constellation Brands, which is ticker symbol STZ. They're supposed to report at 4:35 p.m. Eastern. And then the other ticker is Greenbrier Companies, ticker symbol GBX. So let me see what's up with them. GBX. There we go, right here. They're supposed to report at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. Was trading the indexes earlier. Made some nice money on some triple Qs, some puts when it made this down move here. I've got $78 profit per contract. I had 4 of them, so made a little over $300. It was a nice trade there earlier today. Let's go back to these two tickers here, STZ and GBX. GBX had a nice opening move, kind of sold off a little bit into the close. So regular session's officially over, and GBX closed at $47.03 a share. It was up 2%, a little over 2% on the day. And Constellation Brands, ticker symbol STZ, they closed the regular session at $166.48, up 2.3% on the day. And I'm just going to go over to my other screen over here on the right and get my screen ready, so when EPS and revenue and guidance info comes in, I'll be able to get that for everyone pretty easily. Other than that, going into the earnings, let me actually go here on Webull, STZ, and then GBX. Okay, so STZ going into the earnings, they had a PE ratio of 13. EPS was a little negative. They do pay a 2.4% dividend. Let's see how often they pay that. So their last ex-div date was April 29th. It's over $1 a share too. The one before that was February 7th. So it looks like quarterly. Looks like they pay out quarterly. So their next ex-div date is probably going to be towards the end of this month or maybe early August. But just looking at their income statement, kind of a mixed bag as far as positive net income when just looking at like the past 5 quarterly earnings. They had some winners, then loss, and then two earnings ago they were positive, and they're coming off of a negative net income earnings. So let's see how the price reacts today. Debt to asset ratio 67%, so not bad at all there. Cash and equivalents, I got about 68 million in cash and equivalents, so not really a huge cash position for stock trading at $166 a share, but they got a little bit of money in there. So GBX, let me go back intraday here on there. All right, so STZ, we're still waiting on earnings there. GBX, I think it's going to report before STZ. So got the 5-minute chart on right now. PE ratio of 9. Nice and positive earnings per share of 6. So $46 stock. EPS is 6.26. They also pay a dividend, 2.7%. Let's see how often they pay theirs. Ex-div date April 22nd. And then January, yeah, it looks like every 3 months. So both of these stocks pay a quarterly dividend. And next ex-div date for GBX probably around end of July. Getting a little bit of movement on STZ. I'll go back over to them here in a second. They might have already reported. Let me just take a quick peek and see if they did. STZ. There we go. Okay, and just to go over what the expectations are for STZ, got a little graphic here from the earnings correspondent. The forecast EPS is 3.29, and the forecast revenue is 2.56 billion. So that's the expected numbers for STZ. Let me go back over here. We're still waiting on data. So this is okay. Looks like I've got a little candle down here. So maybe the data just got released. I'll let everyone know as soon as I get EPS and revenue. Let me get GBX ready to go as well. GBX. Let me see. GBX. What's going on, Teresa on Kick? Nice to have you on the stream here. STZ getting the move. Got a little wick down to 163. Kind of a little volatile right now. So let's give it a minute for the price to settle. I'll go 1 minute chart for now. Let me go back down here. GBX. Okay, yeah. I think STZ data got released early. They weren't supposed to report until like 4:30, 4:35 Eastern. It's only 4:06, and we're getting some volatility here. So maybe it's just some pre-earnings jitters, if you will. The implied move. Let's talk about the implied move for STZ is around $5 a share. Which again, it's trading at 166 right now, kind of right where it closed at. So expected moves $4.90 to be. I'm sorry, 4.9%. Excuse me. So almost 5% is the expected move. The expected move for Greenbrier, which is GBX, is around 10%. So GBX might be a little more volatile than STZ, according to what the implied move is percentage-wise. So we'll see what happens. I'm on a 1 minute chart on both these tickers. Let me go back to TradingView just for a second. We'll go 1 minute chart on these as well. And we'll look at some, I want to look at some levels on the bigger time frames. So, okay, STZ, almost kind of a little double bottom bounce kind of going into earnings. It's been volatile lately, as has most stocks, but to the upside, I mean, it was caught in this pretty good downtrend since the middle of May. Top of that puts it in the 190, so there's potential upside there if it gets a positive reaction, but it's looking like a negative reaction. So let's look at some potential longer term support. Trading at 160.85. I mean, recent support was around 160, so that's probably where my S1 would be. To reach, yeah, just finished your work in here for some chill. Absolutely, good to see you. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well. Also, hope you've been having a good week. Tuesday, just a few days into the trading week. Also, just a reminder, everyone, markets are closed Friday for July 4th. Thursday, to my understanding, is a half day. So I think Thursday, the market's closed around 1 p.m. Eastern or something like that. But yeah, support on STZ, you can clearly see it on the daily chart. It's around 160 a share. So it had initial, that'd be my S1. S2, I mean, that puts the price, back from like 5 years ago. If 160 fails, definitely would not be good for the stock. Previous support was in the low 100s. I mean, I suppose you could look at maybe 150 as S2. So pretty clean numbers. Just to kind of point out, technical analysis wise, S1 160, S2 150. Just keep it simple. Going back to the 1 minute chart here. So it was kind of volatile before the data got released, wicked all the way down to 160 and some change, kind of popped back up. Now it's trading at 164.50. Again, they closed the regular session at 166.48. So trade just below where they closed at. Let's see. I'm going to go back to STZ again. Let's see if I got the EPS and revenue real quick. I'll post that for everyone. Okay, again, the earnings correspondent with a nice little graphic for us. So we went over the forecast earlier. EPS was 3.29. They just reported 3.22, so they did miss EPS by 2%. And the forecast revenue was 2.56 billion, and they just reported 2.51 billion. So double miss, missed EPS, missed revenue. Investors aren't really liking that too much. Year-over-year numbers were also not too good. They were bad. EPS is down 10% year over year, and revenue is down 6% year over year. So as far as year over year numbers go, EPS kind of took a bigger hit than revenue, but nonetheless, both numbers red for year over year. Quarter over quarter looks good. I mean, EPS up 22% quarter over quarter, revenue up 16% quarter over quarter. So a shorter term view, you know, maybe they're onto something here. So short term, I mean, the numbers have improved quarter over quarter, double digit too. So maybe that can mitigate, you know, the double miss here, because they are showing signs of improving at least over quarter. And look at that. Looks like the price popped back up. So they're actually green and after hours now. Again, expected move on STZ, I believe was 5%. We'll see if that holds true. So that'd be like an $8 move. Sitting here in after hours, trading at $168 a share. And let's see if they can hold up. Maybe the quarter over quarter numbers, you know, like I say, kind of wash out the double miss there. So we'll see as the price settles and the data gets digested by investors. We'll see if it can hold up here. Still waiting on GBX. Again, according to Earnings Whispers, they're supposed to report at 4:15 p.m. So maybe we'll get their data in about 3 more minutes, and then we'll have the reactions on both stocks. Let me see if I can get this EPS and revenue data on STZ in a typed out form here. And actually, let me just do this. I'll do a little notepad here on the side, and I'll get this typed out for everybody. Let's see here. So STZ earnings are out. EPS 3.22 and revenue 2.51 billion. So that's a double miss. So I'll put that on the bottom of my screen just so everyone can see. Double miss, but quarter over quarter numbers look promising. I'll say quarter over quarter numbers look positive. That's what they are. So maybe there's a short-term bullish thesis on this because of their data. We'll see. Let me post this here on the bottom of my screen. There. Hopefully everyone can see that. GBX is next. It's almost 4:15 p.m. I do believe they report right at 4:15, so we should see that here in about 1 more minute. Trading on kind of low volume today. I mean, double the average volume. Average volume over 3 months is about 445,000. They had almost 1 million volume today, so I suppose it's double what their average is, which, you know, tells me just overall they trade on low volume. So what's their float? Float 30 million. Okay, yeah, it's not going to take much volume to move a 30 million float. So we got about 20 more seconds and we'll get the GBX data. All right, STZ still trying to hang in there. Kind of mixed reaction. It kind of wicked up almost to 169, then it wicked down to 160 and some change, and now it's kind of just right back in the middle here. A little bit red from where they closed out the regular session. So let's see if it gets more attention or not. Slight, very, very slight buy side imbalance on the level 2 order book. So we'll see if the buyers can hang on here. GBX earnings data should be out. Had an initial reaction to 49.20, then came right back down. So let's just let that sit for a minute and see what the reaction is going to be. And again, ticker symbol STZ. It's trading at a little below 166 right now. Support level number 1, 160. Support level number 2 is going to be 150. Easy levels to remember for the bulls. GBX is getting some flickering action to the upside here. Let's see if this ends up being the real move. Take a sip of water. Got over 400 people tuning in. Mixture of YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and we started streaming on Kick recently. Got a handful of people joining in on the Discord as well, but welcome to the stream, everybody. My name's the Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. I'm one of the analysts over here in the Discord group. I specialize in a little more advanced option strategies. So I do a lot of contract writing, typically on the selling side of the transaction. So that's kind of what I specialize in over here. Run a ton of the wheel strategy. We trade a lot of spreads, that kind of thing. So if you're looking for a new home and maybe interested in spread trading or writing contracts and actually selling to open options, if you join the Discord, definitely come see me. Tag me in the chat. I'll come by and say what's up. Maybe we could talk for a little bit about your situation. Maybe there's some tips or tricks or suggestions I can give you to help out a little bit. Okay, GBX still sitting up here green. It's up almost 5% in after hours. Let's see if I can get the data. EPS revenue, maybe there's some guidance or something I can share with everyone. Have some people on Twitter buying some lotto calls before the regular session ended. Just a couple things about GBX. They do pay a dividend, a little under 3%, but I mean, why would you target this for the dividend? You could just do the 10-year treasury and get, over 4% on that. So it kind of carries a negative risk premium, if you will. Just a couple notes. This is from August. Pansy on Twitter. Greenbuyer's recent financials show improving net income, but declining cash flow and backlog. So yeah, that's not good. It does raise some concerns about some sustainability of the dividend. But nonetheless, it's seeing a positive reaction here to the earnings. It's up almost 6. It's up over 6% now. Let's take a look at a few other things here before we move on. STZ, just still kind of, there's nothing going on there. I mean, it is red a little bit. It's like a little bit of selling might be trying to come in. Order book's kind of balanced. GBX trying to catch a bid. It's up 10% now. GBX might be the winner today. Let's give it a few minutes, make sure this is the right move. Sometimes these reverse real quickly and it's not the real move. Okay, and again, implied move for GBX is right around 10%. So maybe expect like a $5 move. I mean, it's up $5 right now, so it's already kind of hit its expected move. Let's see if it does more than that, or if it decides to pull back a little bit. Let me go back to TradingView just for a second. STZ, still nothing going on. Kind of boring. It's like watching grass grow. So I'm going to stick with GBX for right now. Just look and see what kind of upside we potentially might have now. I mean, kind of traded sideways a little bit in the beginning of March. Kind of be this price action right here. So, possible resistance on this. It's trading at $51 now. You can see the after hours price right here on TradingView, this blue line, that's where it's trading at right now. So, it's going to be the mid 50s, right where it kind of traded sideways and consolidated. That definitely kind of catches my eye as possibly a level of interest right there where it just kind of traded sideways for, since February 20th to almost, March 2028, the end of March. So traded sideways for like 5 weeks, just sitting there. That would have been good to maybe do an iron condor when it was doing that. Maybe a quick one, like a 2-week one or something like that. But let me also see GBX. Okay, yeah, they do have an option change, just the monthly cycle though. So no weekly options on that, unfortunately, but who knows? Maybe that'll change one day. Sitting here in after hours trading at right around 52 bucks a share. This thing can get above the mid 50s. That's going to be my R1, my resistance one, mid 50s, probably 55 bucks around there. If it can break through that, this thing will probably be in the 60s in a hurry. So that'd be my resistance level to keep watch. Mid 50s, probably just call it 55 bucks. It's pretty simple. Support, even though I don't think support might not be an issue, but we kind of look at some of these bigger time frame charts. S1 probably 44 bucks. S2 probably 40. So pretty easy levels to remember for the downside. But it's getting a nice positive reaction here in after hours. It's up 9%. So congrats to the GBX bulls. It's looking good so far. Got the data here for GBX. So it looks like they did beat EPS and they did beat revenue. So double beat for GBX. That's pretty good for them. Let me post this info on GBX and we'll go over what their results were real quick. It's almost 4:30 here. So GBX EPS came in $1.86. The forecast was only 98 cents. So they beat the just almost 100% beat. They beat the EPS forecast by 2x. That's good on them. Sales revenue came in at 842 million. The estimate was only 785 million. So double beat on GPX. Investors are taking it positively. It's looking like a congrats to the GBX bulls. Unfortunately, STZ, it's just there's nothing going on there. So kind of a dud on that one. It did get a bit volatile. Wicked up a few times after wicking down to like 160 and some change. Now it's kind of right back up here, trading at 165 and some change. Again, they had a double miss. They missed EPS. They missed revenue. Their year-over-year numbers weren't good. However, they were nice and green on their quarter-over-quarter numbers. So just maybe a short-term view there. Not all too, it's not all bad for the bulls here. Yes, it's not catching a bid and getting a positive reaction, but it's also not selling off anything crazy either, right? So just kind of stick in the mud here, not much going on, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for the bulls. I mean, it's $160, $166 stock going into the earnings today. There's a reason why they're trading up there. It's probably good company, good fundamentals, but investors just aren't getting impressed today with the data. But it's also not selling off either. So just kind of how you look at it, right? GBX up to $52 in after hours. Like I said, I'd be watching this white box here where it traded sideways for like 5 weeks. That's the level of interest for me. So if this thing can get back above 50, maybe close with a 4-hour candle or daily candle above the mid 50s, this thing will probably be back into the $60 range in no time after that. So, if you can catch it at the right time and we get a little bit of confirmation, I think it'd be an easy trade back into the 60s if the momentum keeps up here with this reaction here in after hours. So we'll see. Maybe we get a trend day out of it tomorrow or something. Might be an easy trade going into tomorrow. It's about 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Again, my name's the Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. If you're looking for a new trading community, definitely check us out. There's links in the description. You can actually join for free, see how you like the free section, and go from there. But we got something for everyone. We got a coach that all he does is swing trading and trades lots of equity. He also dabbles in options and stuff like that. But we got several other trade alerters in the group that day trade and all kinds of stuff. And like I said earlier, I do more advanced options is kind of what I would call them. More contract writing, lots of sell to open. I run a ton of the wheel strategy. It's been just performing excellent. So if you're ever were curious about that kind of trading, like spread trading and stuff like that as well, come check me out. Swinging Bull. But yeah, looks like we got our reactions. Again, for STZ, they missed EPS, they missed revenue. Their year-over-year numbers were not good. However, they were nice and green on the quarter-over-quarter numbers. So maybe short-term view there. But investors they're just not catching the bid. Investors aren't getting impressed. But like I said, on the same token, it's not selling off very much either. I mean, it's down 1% in after hours, so not really much going on there. There's just no action, so it's just kind of sitting flat here. Maybe they'll get a secondary reaction when they do the earnings call with the upper management. GBX, on the other hand, double beat. They beat EPS. They beat revenue. Investors are taking that positively. It's sitting here in after hours, up a little over 9%. Closed the regular session at 47 bucks a share. Now it's sitting here at $51.50 around there, up almost 10%. Yeah, that's all I got for today. Again, my name's the Swinging Bull. PB Alerts. I do these earnings streams every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern with another earnings stream. I hope everyone enjoyed the earnings stream today. Hope everyone has a good night. It's only Tuesday. Again, the markets are closed Friday, and there's a half day on Thursday. So just want to remind everyone of that. But hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night, and I'll chat with everyone very, very soon. Cheers.